Welcome to Mobility Insider. I'm your host, Morten Hannesbo, on this program. Today we're going to talk about this car. This is the BMW iX xDrive 50. Let's just call it the BMW iX. BMW decided to develop this car inside out, which means it is technologically very complex. But it is also at the same time extremely user-friendly. BMW is the leading premium car manufacturer in the world. They lead Mercedes and Audi. They sold last year 2.1 million cars with a BMW badge, and 216,000 cars were fully electrical vehicles like the iX. 216,000 is not a lot when you compare that to Tesla's 1.32 million cars. However, BMW is targeting 300,000 fully electrical vehicles in 2023, and already in 2025 they're planning to sell 500,000 or more fully electrical vehicles. The BMW Group is a large company. They also, by the way, sell 6,000 Rolls-Royces per year, 300,000 Minis, and 200,000 motorbikes. So BMW is mastering all of these technologies and all these brands and have a lot of complexity to manage when they do that. Let me just take you through some of the specs on the iX. It has 523 horsepower. It accelerates from 0 to 100 in just 4.6 seconds, and the top speed is 200 kilometers per hour. BMW's technologies have been put into this car and mastered in such a way that when you drive the car, you feel that they are setting a benchmark not only in the big SUV segment, but also for electrical cars in general. And what about the all-important thing about electrical vehicles, range and battery? This car has a 105 kilowatt-hour battery net capacity. It charges with up to 195 kilowatt. The range is more than 500 kilometers as we have tested it, and the car will charge within about 35 minutes from 10 to 80%. As the car stands here next to me with the options, it will cost you 157,750 Swiss francs. If you buy it in the standard spec, which is also still rather rich, it will cost you 120,100 Swiss francs. The design of the iX is a little bit like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. The chief designer of BMW, Dukec, decided to go bold with the design of the iX, and certainly he achieved that. And some of the car buyers in this segment will probably not like the car, and others will love it, which is fine. The design philosophy is one you can call a monolith design, which means that you see the lines all over the vehicle, front and left and on the sides. I think it works quite well. Of course, this beautiful grey color combined with the 22-inch wheels makes the car also look very advanced and very sporty. So whereas the side view will be appealing to most customers, I think, the front view is probably a part of the car that will split opinions. BMW decided to make the grille really big, and this is on a car that doesn't need a grille actually. This is a transparent piece of advanced plastic that is hiding sensors and cameras. I think it looks okay, but I have heard other people who say they cannot stand this design, but as always, design is individual taste. The feeling you get when you sit in the iX is one of a really modern car. It's almost like you're catapulted a few years into the future compared to, I would say, normal cars. Very prominent these copper matte finish decorations in the car that are in the middle, on the steering wheel and on the doors. Also quite interesting, or maybe if you don't like them, these controls for the seats and also for the iDrive is made of crystal plastic, like maybe not to my liking, but it is certainly different. Also, what you see is a big screen. Actually, it consists of two screens. The large one is 14.9 inches, and this one is 12.3 inches, and they work together. The touch screen part, this one to the right, is where you have all the controls for the navigation and the phone and the sound system and so on. And that one you can actually control the functions in 3 different ways. You can use the voice control. You press the button here and you speak to the system. And the system actually understands certainly my commands quite well. So that's one way you can do it. Second, you can use this center part where you can control most of the functions. So you can move to navigation, you can control the phone, you can go back to start. And also a good function is when you are parking somewhere or you just want to see what is happening around the car, you have a one touch to activate the cameras. So you get very easily a panoramic view of what is around the car. And thirdly, of course, you can use the screen by touching it. You can move to the map, you go back, you push it like this, get to the vehicle, you see how the consumption has been. So all in all, this works really intuitively for the driver, and very quickly you get muscle memory with the mid-console and the iDrive. I think that is something that BMW has done particularly well. In the rear of the iX, the design language has been continued, really advanced, beautiful seats, and the seats are very comfortable. It's like you're sitting in a couch at home, really nice for long trips. Also interesting how BMW has solved the cargo flexibility. Of course, you have an armrest, but you can also fold down this one in a 40-20-40 configuration. All 3 seats fold down individually. That gives you a lot of flexibility. And if you look at how much space you have in the vehicle, look at the space for my knees, look at the space for the head and for the shoulders. This is a really large car, and inside the vehicle you have a lot of space. And BMW also thought about rear passengers in terms of power output. You have 4 here 2 and here 2 USB-C charging ports, and of course you can control the temperature setting and the seat heaters here in the middle as well for your rear passengers. Right, so I talked about how comfortable the seats in the rear are as well. So you see here how soft they are. It's really comfortable, and they have continued the seat to the side of the door, and that also gives you a lot of comfort. And one thing that is really clever is how they have hidden the ISOFIX points for the child seats. They have used carbon fiber to strengthen the body of the vehicle. This is a very expensive way of doing that, but it looks cool and it saves weight. Let's have a look at the trunk space of the iX. It gives you 500 liters of quite square trunk space, which is on the low side for the size of the vehicle, I think, but it is very useful. As you can see, the suitcases will fit really nicely. What is a bit, I think, awkward is that they have taken so much space for the side of the vehicle that it has taken space from the trunk. So it's okay. It's not the best in its class. So the iX has a nice Harman Kardon sound system, including surround sound. I think it's okay. Of course, it's good. It's expensive, but it is not as good as the best systems I have tried in some of the other cars, like Porsche Panamera or the Audi A8. Over the last 2 days, I've driven more than 200 kilometers in the car in various conditions. So 202 kilometers has been driven. The range is still 353 kilometers, so that gives you an everyday range of 550 kilometers. So we will see if we have enough time to make a charging test. I'm afraid that the consumption is not high enough for us to get to 10% to make a reliable charging test, but we will see. But it certainly speaks for the BMW iX that it is very efficient. Well, that brings me to the final verdict on the BMW iX. This car is something where the design will be splitting the waters. But if you can live with that design, or if that is appealing to you, this is a cutting-edge technology car that brings you the latest that the car industry can put into their cars. It has a long range, easily 500 kilometers. It has massive power, 523 horsepower. And the comfort in the car is absolutely benchmark in this class, in my opinion. What are the dislikes I find about this car? Not a lot. If I have to mention a couple of things, I think the trunk size is probably on the smaller side when you compare it to other vehicles with the same exterior dimensions. Maybe the price will be a dislike for many. 157,000 Swiss francs for this car is a lot of money. But apart from that, when you buy the iX, you get some of the best technology. You get one of the most comfortable drives that you can buy today. So not a lot to dislike about the iX. Let's have a look at the competition. There are a few excellent cars out there that the customers for this car will probably also be considering. Let's start with the Audi Q8 e-tron, just out with a facelift, a great car. Not as modern as the iX, so between the two you will choose the modern one, that would be the iX, or the conservative one, then you would choose the Audi Q8 e-tron. A couple of other competitors would be the Mercedes EQS SUV, a very, very nice car, also as expensive as the iX, but in all parameters, comfortable, strong, and great design. And finally, of course, the Tesla Model X is a competitor to the iX. Both are large SUVs with a lot of technology. So that brings me to the final verdict on the BMW iX. I have decided to award the iX 4 stars because, in my opinion, and based on the cars that I have tested in this segment, this is the best one around just right now. And why is that? Because on all parameters, the iX delivers. It has a great range, more than 500 kilometers. It has ample power. And when you drive the car, you feel like you are really in a comfortable place. I don't think any other car gives you more comfort than the iX. Thank you for watching Mobility Insight. I hope you liked the video, and please do check in to see some of the other videos I've made. Thank you.